It's me, Andy, from Blitz Gaming. Hope you're all having a good day. Something new. Bit of a chit chat this time. Not reviewing anything. Well, it is a bit of review. Let's talk about Intel's Alder. Is it any good? Should you buy it? How does it perform? Is it bad? Where's bit all those sort of things really? Okay, this is all about pricing first. Now we're going by the UK price, and we're going to talk about the K SKUs, not the F SKUs. So you've got the 12600K with 10 cores, £289, which is now, I have seen, going over £300. 12 cores, 12700K with 12 cores, £420. 129K with 16 cores, £589, and I've seen that already going over £600. On top of that, you've got to buy a motherboard because it's a new platform, and they're starting at £185. So it's not a cheap platform. It's a Z series motherboard. There's no low end chipsets yet, so you've got to spend big money. And on top of that, if you buy a 12900K, now you probably do the same thing with a 127K. I don't know anyone who's actually tested these CPUs with a standard fan. As far as I know, they've all been tested using an all-in-one. And the reason being, when everyone tested the 129K, it was hitting 100C. Now we're talking that with an all-in-one. So they're saying to get round the problem, you have to have a 360 radiator. Yeah, we're not talking about a 240. You need a 360 radiator to solve the problem. Yes, it's Intel's new processor is extremely hot. So that's the 12900K been hitting 100C if you don't have a decent radiator. Now I've seen it where, depends on what radiator you're using, some people have got it down to about 90C, and a 12.7, 12.6 are in the 70s. Again, using the 360 radiator. So straight away, you've got to go out and buy at least £150 radiator, all in one, to solve the heating temperature. So you're talking nearly £1,000 system, minus memory. Now the platform also supports DDR4 and DDR5, but there's no motherboards that I've seen of so far which has got DDR4 and DDR5 on one board. What the manufacturers are doing, Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, they're all basically saying the same board. For instance, let's say you buy a Gigabyte Aorus Elite board. So you've got two versions of it. One's got DDR4, one's got DDR5. They're the same price, it just says on the header DDR4 version, DDR5 version. Is it worth buying DDR5? Well, according to the benchmarks, for gaming it literally does nothing. It costs a lot more money. We're talking about 2.5 times, 3 times the amount of money, and you're getting nowhere near the performance because, excuse me, the latency speed in DDR5 is really slow, so it's not performing. At the end of the day, it doesn't perform. In multi-threaded benchmarks, well, it's a bit of a different matter. So if you're going that way, DDR5 is good, but again, you have to weigh up the benefits, the amount of money it's costing you for performance, and most people will still tell you to go DDR4, and hopefully in the next 12 to 18 months, DDR5 will get faster, latency speed will come down, and they get really, really fast. But at this moment in time, it's not worth spending the money. So yeah, so with a platform, it gets 100C, and it's getting, the reason why it's getting 100C, it uses a lot of wattage. So if your energy bill's too high and you're struggling, you're not happy with it, buying Alder Lake is probably not a good thing because it uses up a lot of wattage. When it's idle, apparently it's low because it's a hybrid processor. You've got to remember, Alder Lake is a hybrid processor. It's got two different processors in one package. One's called the P cores, performance cores, and one's called the energy cores. So the E cores, the energy cores, when it's idle, they turn on, the other ones turn off, and it runs really low. And when you're obviously playing games and want to give it some performance, the other ones turn on, and in some cases both turn on, and it goes really, really, really fast, and it uses up a real lot of wattage. Now we're talking not like 10 watts or 15 watts. In some cases, we're talking 100 watts more than its previous generation. So consider that. I mean, if you're going to build, if you was an office person and you're going to buy, we've got a company and you're going to buy 100 new PCs, I'll probably keep away from Alder Lake because your energy bill is going to cost you a fortune. Unless obviously you're doing rendering stuff where you don't care. But if you're doing standard office work like Word, Excel, bad idea, keep away, and then go with AMD. Okay, so yeah, performance wise, it flies, yeah, as I said, the reason why it flies is it uses up a lot of energy and it gets extremely hot. I mean, in gaming, I'll put some charts up from Hardware Unboxed. It goes some. In multi-threaded benchmark, I mean, it's in a different league. I mean, literally, it flies. Gaming wise, according to the average, it's only 4% faster. So, if you've already got a 3080 or an AMD 6800 or 6700 or 3070, and you're already running at 1440p or 4K, apparently you're not going to see nothing because it's all GPU bound. There's only a few games which stand out, but basically you're not going to get no performance. 1080p, like I said, you can get a 4% average. Now they did say there was 2 games, Watch Dogs Legions and Far Cry, which did gain about 20 frames a second, which is good. We can't complain with that. That's 20 frames is lovely. But they're like one-offs, and that was at 1080p. Yeah. Now most gamers now are going over to 1440p, and so you won't see no benefit at all. It's all GPU bound games these days. It's just the way games are going. There was another game, Age of Empires 4. Apparently there was a good benefit, again at 1080p, running Alder Lake. So, and that's just come out, so that should be okay. But right, now let's go on to the bad news, and it's real bad news. Alder Lake, being this lovely and fast and great at multi-threading, because it is a hybrid processor, it's causing trouble in games. Apparently it's not just games, some people have said applications as well not working properly. Basically, if you've got a game which has got a DRM, basically built-in security, which is most games these days, you've got a problem. That's what happened. You start the game, as you always do, and as it goes to start, it says, well, hold on a minute, you're running this game on 2 computers. and says, "Well, we're not running that. You can't do that. You can only have it on one computer." And that's the problem. That's not really a bug. It's just that technology's moved on faster than the software, and it's causing all sorts of trouble. Now I'll put a list up. There's what Intel's put a list up of 50 games. Some games will work if you run Windows 11. Which the other thing is, if you buy Alder Lake, you need to go Windows 11. You're wasting your money otherwise. If you don't want to go Windows 11, simply don't buy Alder Lake. And then it's not worth it, because if you buy Alder Lake under Windows 10, a lot of these games will not run. For other reasons, they just don't run. And the other reasons, as I just said, security problems. They don't run because of the security. It's just a big problem, and no one knows when it's going to get fixed. I mean, they're all talking to each other: Intel, Microsoft, the game manufacturers, the motherboard manufacturers, trying to solve the problem. If you go back to Ryzen 1, 5 years ago, Zen 1, that took what, 12 months, 18 months on some things to fix. And I think some things are still going today with its memory, and that was just memory. Yeah, that wasn't really anything else. It was just a memory problem, timings and all that sort of stuff. This is something different. This is a gaming security problem. How do we get around the program and change things? Now, I don't know when it's going to get fixed. Like I said, it could be 6 months, it could be a year before you get these games. Now, we're not talking about budget games. We're talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, that's only just come out. Warhammer, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the remastered edition. Madden 22. Star Wars The Fallen Jedi. Far Cry New Dawn. Ghost Recon. The list goes on. Yeah, so we're talking about AAA games not working. Yeah, and it's just like, well, what do you do? Now, if it was me personally, because you got these problems with games, now I use these for benchmarking, as you know. I wouldn't buy Alder Lake. Yeah, now I do plan to get an Alder Lake system when the budget system comes out, because obviously I need to build your system. And hopefully this problem will be solved, otherwise we'll be benchmarking other games instead. But it's a problem we don't know when it's going to get fixed. At the end of the day, I mean, it could be done really fast. Again, it may not be. Because you're going to have that argument at the end of the day. So, hold on a minute. Well, the security's there to stop thieves stealing our games. Why should we change it? And it's going to go round in circles for a while, I think, before someone makes a decision. Okay, let's look at... so we've got Windows 11. So if you want to buy Alder Lake, you've got to go Windows 11, because that's what it's designed for. And Windows 11 has a new scheduler to work all these new processors together to make it all work lovely. Which in turn, I think it's doing Ryzen a bit of a bad deal. Ryzen is not working the way it should be, and even Intel's old processors are not working the way it should be, and it's like causing all sorts of trouble. So it's another reason to sort of say, okay, I don't want Alder Lake. Yeah, it's fast. Yeah, it's lovely and fast, but until you fix these problems, it's going to be it's trouble. Yeah, I mean, it's real trouble. So, okay, let's look at the other reason why maybe you shouldn't buy it. Now it's out, in theory, AMD should be cutting their prices big time on their processors. Now, it's not happened yet, and that's because demand is still high and all sorts of stuff. But you can guarantee they're bound to come down. I would have thought they're bound to come down anytime soon, and they've come out at the right amount of prices. You can say, oh, well, and today AMD are taking £100 off this processor. I'm quite happy to buy this instead. Okay, it's not as quick, but it's £100 cheaper. And the other thing is, AMD, excuse me, got indigestion. Next chip, Ryzen 3D cache or 6000 or whatever it's going to be called, is due out in the next quarter. Now there's a computer show in January, I think the 2nd or the 3rd. It could come out there. Now they're in production, so we know they're ready to go. Or it could come out in the computer show in March. So yeah, so you've got 4 month wait, you could say. And if they come out, in theory, Intel, depends who's got the quickest processor, Intel could put their prices down. So you could say to yourself, you're paying a premium price for Alder Lake this wait. Now we do know that when they showed the prototype of the 3D Zen, or Zen 3D, or whatever it's going to be called, it was 15% across the board faster in games. They didn't show applications because people were saying, well, the new cache system don't work very well in 3D games, but that's not true because they've just shown you the new server with a 3D cache and it's like 40% faster. So it does work. So basically, in theory, this big increase in speed what Intel's gained could be bad by AMD when they release their 3D Zen processor in the next quarter. So for me, looking at Intel at the moment with all these bugs, and you've got to have Windows 11, I was saying to myself, well, okay, let's wait, because if 3D Zen turns up in 6 weeks' time or so, 8 weeks' time, things could be all different. And 3D Zen is not a hybrid chip, so it should work, no problem at all. Okay, I hope that gave you some sort of information, enough information to make your mind up. Should you buy Alder Lake or should you not buy Alder Lake? As I said, I will be doing a system when they release the budget set. I will make a system, and hopefully when that turns up, they might have solved the problems by then. But okay, that's me nattering. That's done me for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Andy out. Have fun all.